Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first edition of the Westland Community Engagement Department's four-part series on the 2026 Black History Month. I'm your host, Tyler Rich, recording artist, filmmaker, and community belonging advocate. With me here today, we have City Council Pro-Tem LeKisha Maxwell, along with American auto industry entrepreneur and investor Jerome Harvey, and Archivist and Deacon Rita Hampton, who has a powerful story to share with us today. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On this first episode, we'll take a brief historic look on the Black experience and highlight the resilience and achievements of our Black people. Now, Jerome, I'd like to start with you. To change the present, we have to understand the past. But many people in the Black community today are feeling economic pressure, uncertainty, and fatigue. From your perspective as a business owner and investor, what are the most important mindset shifts or practical steps Black families and young people should be focusing on right now to build stability and opportunity in today's economy?
I think given our rich history as a community, it's critical to have a great respect for that history and to use that history as a building block for today. Mm-hmm. Given what we are facing as a community, as a nation, as a region, it becomes critical, in my opinion, for young people to have an in-depth knowledge of what they are able to do, what opportunities are available to them, and it is critical for our established community to provide young people opportunities that they can see those options that they have. It's critical for us to take the time to teach and show our young people methods and ways of expanding their stability for the long term. Income is short, stability is long. So by establishing some skills that they can hold on to be mobile in the community and the society that we enjoy today, it's very, very important that they understand what options are available to them.
Okay, I like that. Okay, establishing those skills to build that stability.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Miss LeKisha, hello.
Hi.
Hey. So you recently became the highest ranking African-American elected official in the city of Westland. All right, let's make some noise for that. Okay.
Yes, amen.
Yeah. Now, would you like to briefly share your community involvement over the years?
Yes, well, first of all, I'm honored to represent the citizens of Westland on the City Council. I appreciate their trust in me to advocate for their interests. I've served in the community for several years. I have worked on the Municipal Bureau Service, Westland Housing, Economic Development. I'm currently the trustee for the Norwayne Citizen Council.
Okay.
I received the 2024 Citizen of the Year Award. I've served as the chair for Veterans and Military Affairs for Western Wayne NAACP, as well as Economic Development. And I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha, the nation's first women of color sorority, where I currently serve as the co-chair for strategic planning, auditing, and I'm also a member of the Action for Social Justice.
Okay, Ms. Kappa, very, very decorated resume if you ask me. Okay, I love that, love to hear that. Now, Ms. Rita.
Yes.
Since 2019, you have been achieving historical documents at the Second Baptist Church on Monroe Street in Detroit. Okay? I understand the documents have been preserved since 1839, and your grandmother joined the church in 1925. Tell us a bit about your involvement with such a historic church that had predominant members like Ralph Bunch. What amazes you the most about the documents you're archiving?
The most amazing thing about the documents and being a librarian that led me that way was that my sister nominated me to say, you got to help them with the archives. And I said, I'm just a librarian. She said, no, but you know a lot of things. What amazed me is that John Brown, one of my heroes, and Frederick Douglass spoke there on several occasions
Wow.
in their planning for abolitionists to use Second Baptist as the highway to freedom. And the tedious notes that were taken, even by hand, even when it came to the typewriter, the invention, you see the invention of different things and machines that were used to hold this. But what bothered me the most, it's deteriorating. And we try to stop or slow it down. You can't stop deterioration of documents, but you can slow it down. But it's a wealth of information that tells you the struggles, that if it hadn't been for Second Baptist, that where would African Americans be in Detroit? That was the hub of an abolitionist. Also, the pastor of that church, Reverend Robert Bradby, was good friends with Henry Ford.
Wow.
And he made recommendations for employment in the Ford plant, $5 a day. And what you see is the pride that when the men came to, when they came to church, they wore their Ford badges. And they were so proudful. What also surprised me is that even though they were making great money, and $5 a day, that's a lot of money during that time for people who came from farming. They couldn't get loans for housing. Second Baptist opened up their own credit union.
Wow.
And I remember as we wait for waiting, when I attended the church as a little girl, my grandmother would say, I got to go to the credit union and get some money. And I never knew what that meant until I got here. Here it is. That was in the 50s. Here it is, in the 20s. And I know now why she kept saying, I think she's going to the bank. She said, no, I'm going to the credit union. So it was held at the church. That to me is phenomenal. We're not going to waste time trying to fight this to get loans. We're going to start our own.
Right.
So that to me, like I always say about any knowledge that I learned being a teacher, that's delicious.
I love that. I love that. Wow. So much information in that. I think it's very important, like preserving those documents, like you were saying. And
very
again,
much so.
even for you to live and experience all of that, like
Right.
that's sweet. I'm gonna have to come have a sit down with you to learn a little bit more about that.
Oh, for
All right.
sure. Welcome.
Yeah. I got you. Lunch soon. All right. Now, Jerome, you're a prominent businessman. What has been your greatest challenge as an African American investor in the auto industry? Who has led businesses generating millions of dollars in sales?
Out of all of the challenges that a small business company faces today, particularly in the automotive arena, or for that matter, any industry, is capital. Financing always becomes a pivotal point that stresses growth and stability, cash flows, ups and downs of cash flows. So I would tell you that capital has always been a tender point for most small businesses servicing the automotive industry or any other industry for that matter. It's always helpful and promising to have capital and access to capital in the minority community. I think has always been a challenge, right? And we're starting to see now some opportunities to better fix that, but that would be the short answer is capital is always a small businessman's challenge,
Yes,
be
sir.
it minority or majority.
Yes, sir. I agree. And are you still in the business of investing currently?
I am. We're continuing to invest in small companies that have some meaning in society, and we are working very challenged to find companies that are recession-proof, that are technology-proof. And so our quest in finding companies for acquisition continues throughout the state of Michigan, and in fact outside of the region as well, within the country. And so that's always a challenge, but always looking for an interesting business that we can figure out how to grow the business, how to stabilize the business, or how the business should fit into society, and how we should invest smartly in that business. So always looking for growth opportunities.
I love that.
Maybe you and I can talk about that.
Yeah, I like to think I'm a prominent figure in a fail-safe industry, so we're gonna have a conversation soon.
Sure.
All right. Now, Rita, another one for you. Would you like to dig a little deeper into the important role of the Second Baptist Church played in the history of the Underground Railroad and the mass migration of blacks from the southern part of the country to Metro Detroit?
Well, as you know, there were very little services when they came from the South. There was no social services. There was no organization to help newly people coming into the city, especially into the city.
Right.
So Second Baptist served as that hub. And so people came there for a recommendation, where do we sleep? Where can we live? And they provided those opportunities for them through, some people slept at the church for a while, that I found out. What I found out also, that it was like a chain. So here you come from, per se, like Alabama, and you bring your relatives.
Right.
This is a good place, the neighborhood. This is where you can come to get help and get services for jobs and recommendation, reading and writing, perfecting your English and to speak well. I heard someone say in the background, someone said, "Oh, you went to that silk stocking church." I always wonder, what did that mean? But they put on and they showed people how to dress, how to talk, how to speak when spoken to, and how to go to work. You know, this time you're on it. And I think having that helped a lot. I remember Reverend Banks, who I'm familiar with when I was a little girl going to Second Baptist. He always wore white shirt, collar, tie, and the chain watch, and the spats.
Okay.
I remember the gray spats, and Reverend Banks was so adamant about we're showing for everyone, we're representing everyone. I remember when Martin Luther King came to our church and spoke.
Wow.
The elegance. I thought Reverend Martin Luther King was 6 feet tall. I had no idea that he was a shorter stack. Should I say that? Oh man! But the words, the words.
Can only
that
imagine.
I'll always remember the words. How he used words. You're used to one way, but he used it another way. Encouraging people, education. We had the first black educator of our black school in Second Baptist. So all those things, I think, compounded when people came to, no one made you feel embarrassed. No one made you feel bad about where you came from. We're going to help you from this. We're taking you where you are, and we're going to elevate. And let's call about Second Baptist. I don't know about mega church. You always talk about mega.
Right.
Second Baptist, as I looked through their roll membership, had over 5,000 members.
Wow.
And I'm talking about donations of their paying their tithes. They did so. Wow. And I think that's what made it so successful. Second Baptist is mean a lot in a lot of people. Kenny Burrell, a lot of people came out of Second Baptist, the jazz guitarist. There's just, and I'm going through the roles because right now I'm digitalizing. We got to take it off the membership cards that are now turning yellow, and we're making digitalizing. I believe strongly in that. I'm sorry, everybody likes to hold a book, but sometimes we won't be able to because it won't last that long. So just running the roles and seeing the names. I know that person. I know that name. Yeah. So that I can't, and without getting the 3 floors. What also makes it more interesting is that when Reverend Banks was there, he initiated the third part of the building that was built by architecture, was built by Nathan Johnson, the black architect.
Wow.
That was commissioned by Coleman Young.
Okay.
He's responsible for the People Mover,
Yeah.
all the stations there. He's responsible for the building input of the Veterans Building that is now there in Detroit. So it looks like it was a magnet for the people that needed hope and help, and then they just flourished.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yes.
Okay. LeKisha, what are your priorities for 2026?
Well, I have a lot of goals. However, I would say that my top priorities for this year are tied to legislative process, and that's ensuring we have appropriate budget, a proper review for the effectiveness of our departments, and addressing our community concerns.
Okay. Now, those are great goals. Now, a well-functioning budget is very pivotal
Yeah.
to the city. All right. 2 more questions for y'all. Y'all ready?
Yes.
So during Black History Month, it's important to talk about the remarkable achievements Black people have continued to make. Could each of you share specific ways you have made a difference in society, especially here in Westland? Who'd like to go first?
Oh, I'll go I'll go. So I would just say, through my continued work with veterans, I'm working to preserve their legacy and honor and dedication here in Westland.
Okay. We love our veterans.
I think being still active in education, information is key. The more information you have, you seek a better way of life. You think better. You make better decisions.
Yes.
And I strongly believe keeping and saving and preserving our history, it's terribly important.
Yes.
It's terribly important because you got to see where you came from to see where to go and how to get there.
Absolutely.
And if you don't have that, you just stuck there. I always say
Right.
you just stuck in the mud and you don't know how to get out. So just realize that information, reading, and preserving and know as much of your background.
Yes, we have to educate ourselves. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, sir?
Now, the city of Westland has been progressive for a long time.
Yeah.
That's exemplified in what you continue to do in celebration of Black history. This city government has shown itself as being progressive over the years, and we've watched Westland as a small business person. We've continued to work diligently to try to invest in the Westland area. We have a couple operations that are nearby here.
Okay.
You happen to have some very good people from this community. We've employed folks from the Westland area and been very successful with those folks. So the continuation of that is critical. Knowledge is power. People given power will be successful. And I think Westland continues to try to play a strong role in that awareness. This studio, the efforts around it itself is very progressive in this region.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay. Now, before we conclude our conversation, is there anything anyone else would like to add? Any last words?
You know, I'd share a couple last words with you.
Okay, please do.
And look forward to your ongoing series because I think this is, again, very important. You know, Black history has taught us resilience down through the times, right? The present today demands that we prepare, right, for today and tomorrow. That is what I think that resilience has done for the Black community over time. The struggles, the church involvement, the underground tunnel, the efforts over the years to expect the unexpected and be prepared for it and overcome. That challenge in the community today, particularly in the Black community, is education, preparedness, finding skills that are transformable, that can carry you through ups and downs. An income today is just an income. A focus around industries that are sustainable will provide you income through up times and down times.
Yes.
So the present demands some preparation and responsibility on our part. That would be my leaving words.
Wow. I love
And
that.
I agree. I second that emotion.
Support.
Now, does anyone have any more last words?
I would just like to add, let's honor our past by recognizing the history we're still making today.
Love that. Yeah. What an exhilarating conversation we just had. Now I want to give a big thank you to my three wonderful guests, LeKisha Maxwell, Jerome Harvey, and Rita Hampton. I'm also grateful to Westland Mayor Kevin Coleman and Community Engagement Director Pascal for this important 4-part series on the 2026 Black History Month. Until our next episode right here on WLND Municipal TV, this is Tyler Rich, encouraging you to stay engaged and keep fostering neighborhoodliness and dignity. Until next time.